And here comes that moment, Charlotte.
Oh, I love it. When we're all waiting, aren't we, to see what colour the Queen will be wearing. Look at her, as ever. She's looking glorious.
She looks wonderful, and I can reveal Her Majesty is wearing an Angela Kelly outfit and hat. The coat is in cornflower blue, and it's made of double crepe material. The dress, of course, I always love the fact that she has a patterned dress underneath these coats. The dress is a silk floral dress of blues, purples, yellows and lime, and then the hat is covered with flowers that will match the dress as well. The brooch she's wearing as well is a Canadian Northern Star diamond brooch. She looks resplendent. I only ever say that word.
She just looks glorious. I wish I had put a bet on what she was wearing, because I said blue.
I thought blue as well.
But you can actually very well, Katie. And I love
she
the
looks
fact
fantastic.
you can hear the atmosphere as the Queen starts this procession, can't you? There is such a buzz from the crowd here, because everyone is wanting to catch a glimpse of her. Despite the fact we've had some showers, that's not going to dampen people's spirits. They are all here keen to see her.
Well, you'll notice that the carriages are open, and really, unless it is pouring it down, the Queen will do everything she can to keep that carriage top uncovered so that she can be seen. And of course, she's riding there with the King and Queen of the Netherlands, and that's King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima, and the Duke of York, who really is now regularly stepping in the absence of the Duke of Edinburgh, who doesn't really do Ascot these days. But I have to say, Queen Maxima is a bit of a showstopper, isn't she, Mark?
Well, when I saw her yesterday at the Order of Garter, I was blown away by her outfit, and she really has not disappointed today. What a spectacular hat and beautiful dress, and that looks like. It really does. I can't wait to see her getting out the carriage.
Well, of course, they were in a carriage as well yesterday for the Order of the Garter ceremony, which is a bit of a prequel, actually, to the royal procession here at Ascot. I have to say the weather was slightly better yesterday, but it's all smiles from that carriage. Some fantastic hats, and yeah, really gorgeous glimpse of Her Majesty the Queen.
Very beautiful.
So that is the lead carriage. Carriage 2, Katie.
So in carriage 2, you will see very, very shortly, and we have the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, who, there they are, looking absolutely gorgeous, actually, and I don't know if that's pastel pink or cream, and alongside the Cambridges. Now, the Cambridges were not here last year, but they are here this year, and I think this is actually only the Duchess of Cambridge's third Royal Ascot, and I think the Queen will very much be hoping that this is a tradition that the Cambridges are going to keep coming year after year, so that love of racing, that love of today in Royal Ascot continues through the next generation of royals.
And these pictures go onto the big screen. I know you love the cheers, Charlotte, particularly when you see Her Majesty the Queen. There was a huge intake of breath and an ooh and an ah when the crowd saw the Duchess of Cambridge for the first time.
Exactly, and she's looking glorious there. She's wearing Ellie Saab and a hat by Philip Tracy, and I think all eyes are on her as a fashion icon as well, to see exactly what she'll be wearing to an event like this. And it's a bit cooler today, isn't it? So, you know, the sleeves are there to make sure that they're covered up, that they don't have to worry about it.
Can we agree
And it
with that?
obviously is.
Indeed it is, yeah, because it's interesting as well that she was wearing blue. The past 2 times she's been here, 2016 and 2017, she wore ivory.
That's
They're
right.
very beautiful in a Dolce & Gabbana and a McQueen.
That white lace,
Yeah,
I remember that.
it was lovely, but this, I have to say, that is quite amazing. And I love the shape of that hat. What a beautiful piece of millinery.
Katie, as you watch on, I mean, you've done this the last couple of years with us as ITV's royal correspondent. Does this still give you a buzz and a...
Oh, I still get the goosebumps, and it's not just the cold weather. No, I do, because it is such a moment, and I think you go out and you speak to the crowds here. Of course they're here for the horses, of course they're here for the races and the bubbles and the pims, but they're here to see this. This is pomp and pageantry. This is a procession like no other, so it doesn't matter how long I've done this job for, many years, but this is always absolutely thrilling. I love the outfits, I love seeing the Queen, and as you will see in a couple of minutes' time when she comes into the parade ring, the proximity. I feel very lucky and very honoured and privileged to be this close to Her Majesty the Queen, and to see her on a day or a week that she loves. She won't miss this. It's the first engagement to go in her diary at the start of the year. Nothing will stop her from coming.
So they came through the Golden Gates, they're on the straight mile, they're shortly at the Windsor enclosure to the left of the carriages, and this is carriage 3.
Yeah, so in carriage 3 we've got the Princess Royal and Princess Anne. We have the Lord de Morley, who is the new Master of the Horse. He was appointed the Queen's Master of the Horse last year, so, you know, very little this man doesn't know about horses. And the Wessexes, the Earl of Wessex and the Countess of Wessex, the Queen's youngest son, Prince Edward, and his very glamorous wife, Sophie Wessex. I have to say, Mark and Charlotte, I think Sophie really pulls it out in the style.
She really has been. I mean, yesterday looked divine in her Susanna dress. dress, but last year she wore, I actually didn't realise at the time, she actually wore a jumpsuit, which is very interesting.
Very fashion forward.
Yeah, very fashion forward. And
She's experimental. I think
This
you're
is
seeing
a
that.
striking look today, isn't
Beautiful.
it? Looking stunning.
Very nice.
Very, very elegant. In fact, she's just got back from a busy trip to the Lebanon. She seems to be carrying out more and more overseas trips on behalf of the Queen. A quiet member of the royal family in many ways, but very prominent in terms of the work that she's doing representing the Queen.
Very chic as well.
Now, I think there's a change in this carriage 4. Tony Johnson-Burt, who's the master of the household, is in carriage 4 instead of Princess Alexandra, the Honourable Lady Ogilvy. So a late change there, Katie.
Yes,
Who
a
else have we got?
last-minute change. So we have the Right Honourable Edward Young, who is the Queen's private secretary, and we also have Princess Beatrice of York and Princess Eugenie of York. And I suspect that we'll see them probably most days here at Royal Ascot. They, like their grandmother, adore racing. They love Ascot, and they really are here. And they've gone for the blue theme.
They got the blue memo, which is just as well, isn't it?
You and I got it as well, Katie.
We did. We
indeed.
are right on trend.
I love the fact they're not afraid of colour though.
Well, that pop of, is it citrus,
isn't
yellow?
it? Yeah, that kind of bright
Fabulous.
yellow with an amazing turquoise as well.
We said this last year, Mark. They do get lambasted for their fashion choices, but I don't know who's styling them at the moment. But they're looking really great.
I absolutely
you know,
agree.
and actually, it was last year, of course, that Princess Eugenie got married. That wedding dress was a work of art. But
It was,
I think hats off to them because they look great.
The Peter Pilotto dress she had on there, I wonder if it's Peter Pilotto who's gone and done her dress today as well. Very nice.
What a beautiful shot that is of the horses
It
involved in the royal procession.
It is. I mean, this is the splendour of the day, and I just don't think you see anything like this anywhere in the world. You know, the Queen loves horses. She still rides. In fact, she was pictured on horseback just a few days before her 93rd birthday. I just think it's remarkable.
something, isn't it?
It is something, and she names every one of those horses as well. So there's a real personal interest here as well. Yeah.
It's lovely.
And there's our first glimpse of the Windsor enclosure, just on the far side there. Always popular, the Windsor enclosure. And for the first time this year, it's actually got a restaurant. Neil Rankin involved with a restaurant there. And it just shows you how you can get something for everybody. From £6 in there, you can have your lunch, you can take your picnic. The Heath enclosure, the other side, is very much picnic based. And then from Thursday, you've got the Village enclosure, which is the first new enclosure for 100 years, which is now doubled in size, which
gonna
just
be a
sums
good one.
up Royal Ascot. But this very much, guys, is the best of British, isn't it?
It is. There's never enough time to try the food, but I did read something funny. Apparently there's enough asparagus to go around this course twice that is consumed over the next 5 days, and enough scones to go around a lap of Ascot.
Well, that's trendy,
races,
isn't it?
right?
The plant-based food, very much.
They're bringing that in this year, so for those people who like their vegan and their vegetarian options, there'll be a lot to choose from.
And sustainability, that's another big thing here at Ascot this year.
They've got the recyclable cups and glasses. They're asking everyone to reuse them.
This really is the time that puts the Royal into Royal Ascot. They've been past the winning post there, and now they take a left. Exactly the same route that the winners of the races this afternoon will take under that tunnel. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we had a Royal winner this week? Her Majesty's got a couple of chances
Are
this
they good
week.
chances, Ed?
And on Thursday, Katie, Ruff's got us on a feature on Her Majesty the Queen and her love of Ascot and racing. It's an
We'll be tuning into that.
absolute must-watch on Thursday afternoon, part 2 on Friday. Because as you say, her love of this sport just glows ever stronger. And Pat Smullen, the great jockey Pat Smullen, said this week, and he's right, racing so lucky to have Her Majesty the Queen in this sport, in the sport of racing.
Well, I just wonder if British horse racing would be what it is today had it not been for Her Majesty the Queen. In fact, she has put it on the international map. I was speaking to Bruff about that as well earlier in the week, and he just said it's largely down to her.
And this, Charlotte Hawkins, is one of your favourite moments coming up.
It is.
As they turn left, you can see people getting a vantage point at the top there.
They're all getting their camera phones out and they'll be waiting, there you are, to catch a glimpse of her as she comes round. And it's such a special sight. And as she comes happens in here, you will definitely feel a buzz from the crowd because they'll be so excited to see her. She gets so close to everybody here, it's quite something, and from the vantage point we're at, you feel like you can lean out and touch her.
You feel incredibly privileged, don't you, standing here? It's quite wonderful.
So into this famous paddock comes the royal procession. With the Queen, all smiles.
All smiles, yes. All those years back it used to be called the Royal Parade or the Royal Drive, but of course now everyone knows it as the Royal Procession.
Another thing I like here, Charlotte, is you look around all the people who gather around this paddock. This is as busy as you see the paddock for the royal procession, just a sea of colour.
It's amazing. Everybody congregates here, and as you say, an explosion of colour. You look round, and everybody's craning their necks. They've got their cameras out. They all want to see her. Big cheers, big smiles, big waves to the Queen as she makes her way round.
It just wouldn't be the same had the roof of the carriage been up because you just wouldn't be able to see her as clearly as you are. So I think it's wonderful that she wants to be seen.
The weather forecast for tomorrow is not brilliant, but from then, Thursday onwards, hopefully the sun is going to shine and make this even more spectacular as the main grandstand now gets their first view and the cheers cry out again. So now they pass by the weighing room, and the reception party today for Her Majesty the Queen includes Guy Henderson, who's the Chief Executive Officer here at Ascot. Does such a terrific job here at Ascot. It just gets bigger and bigger, as Bruff was saying earlier. And also Lord Rathbreeden, the chair of the stewards. That after she meets Johnny Weatherby, of course, Her Majesty's representative here at Ascot, as he has been since 2011. And then for Her Majesty, it's all about the horses from there. Looking at the horses before the Queen Anne, who's responsible for all of this, Queen Anne.
Well, yes, it dates right back to her, doesn't it? So
1711, that was when she first saw this stretch of land that she thought looked perfect for horses to gallop across.
And wasn't she right? Wonder if she ever expected it would continue up until today.
All these years later, it's amazing to think about the footsteps of history, isn't it?
It really is the party with the ultimate host. Her Majesty the Queen has arrived, and there is Johnny Weatherby, Her Majesty's representative here at Ascot. Mike Tyndall, I think, has got his back to us there. Sir Francis Brooke, just on the right, who's one of the trustees, the chairman of the business as well. There he is. Sir Francis. On his right is Harry Morley, who's also a trustee here, whose dad was David Morley, the trainer.